In today's lesson, we're going to review our bow hold from last lesson and also finally bring the bow to the string to play Hot Cross Buns and Frère Jacques on the A string. Stay tuned. Welcome to the studio. My name is Cassie and I'm a professional violist and teaching artist. I hope these videos will serve as a guide whether you're an absolute beginner violist or a little bit more experienced. So in today's lesson, we're going to review the bow hold from our last video, and if you haven't watched that yet, I would really suggest watching that first before you watch this video. So we learned about our bow seat belt, about the parts of the bow, and what to do with our left hand. So let's just review that quickly before we get on to bringing the bow to the string. So I always want to make sure that my fingers are nice and loose and released. So if I just kind of imagine I'm shaking water off them and flop them, I can just bring the stick up underneath those fingers and leave them nice and relaxed. And we also had that bow seat belt, so I'm going to take my ring finger, put that where the nail bed meets the finger, and then adjust my other fingers around that. So I've got my ring finger covering the frog's eye, my middle finger and my thumb making a ring, my pointer finger relaxed and tapped on the second knuckle, and my pinky making a nice round rainbow or arch shape. We don't ever want straight fingers, that just is too much tension on the hand. We want a nice curvy hand. And we also had two positions for the thumb. So this black part that sticks out from the frog, we can put our thumb on that, or we can put it underneath here on the ferrule. This is a little bit more stable. So thumb underneath curved or thumb on the frog's nose, that's what I call it, curved. As long as it's curved, we're doing the right thing. So let's do that in rocket ship position. Seatbelt on, adjust all of those fingers. And if I hold it with my left hand, my fingers should be nice and loose and floppy. They shouldn't be tense and grabbing onto the bow. Nice and loose. Now that we've got our bow hold all set up, we're going to do a few exercises to strengthen our hand. So I want you to take your left hand and hold the stick somewhere near the top. And we want to make sure again that we're not touching the hair, the bow hair, because the oils from our fingers can get on that and we don't want that. So I'm going to double check. Are my fingers nice and loose? Let's see. Let's tap each finger. Why don't you actually take your finger out of the bow seat belt, make sure that it's still formed correctly. Tap pointer, middle, ring, and pinky. And these two might be easier to tap together, and that's okay. And then double check, is your thumb still curved? Looking good. All right, let's put that bow seat belt back on. And we're going to do some pinky push-ups right now. So I'm just using my pinky. I'm not using my whole wrist. I don't want to see this kind of rotation in your wrist. We're just using the pinky, and I'm going to switch to supporting at the tip with my other hand. So take that pinky and push the stick up. Notice again, it's not wrist, it's just that pinky. And this might be hard because the bow is heavy and our pinkies are our weakest finger. So if this is difficult for you, this might be something that you're going to incorporate into your daily practice. All right, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to take that left palm and support the screw of the bow. And you might want to take your finger out of the seatbelt for this one too. So what my goal is to take just my fingers and grab the bow so it's up, and then release it back down into the palm. So watch the action of my fingers. Gather in and release down. If I didn't have my bow in my hand, it would look like this. Gather and release. Gather and release. So let's try that with the bow. Supported with your palm. We're nice and loose here. Gather and release. Let's do a few more of these. Gather and release. And even if your thumb is underneath here, you can still gather and release that thumb. Doesn't matter where the thumb is right now. Let's do a few more of those. Gather and release. Last one. Gather and release. And this is going to teach us to have really flexible fingers. We're going to need that when we do more advanced bow strokes, so we might as well incorporate it right now. So those three exercises, your pinky push-ups, your release and gather, and your finger taps, should be part of your daily workout. We're now going to bring the bow to the string, so we need to get our instruments because we're going to put a straw, which I know sounds very strange, but we're going to put a straw in the instrument as a guide. So take a quick second, pause the video, and go grab a straw. So now that we're back and we've got our instrument and our straw, we're going to use this as a guide for our bow. So I'm going to take the straw and gently squeeze the end of it so it's a little bit flatter, and then I'm going to take it and insert it in the top of my sound hole. Just very gently. And this should be on the C string side, not the A string side. So if I'm in playing position, it's on the far side or the left side of our instrument. Now when we bring our bow to the string, our bow is going to be behind or on the bridge side of the straw, and this is going to help us keep it in a straight line. So once we've got that straw assembled, we can grab our bow again and we can get started with placing it on the string. So now we've got our instrument and our bow, and I've left my little wine charm guy on there. Maybe you have your painter's tape on there as a guide for where the middle of the bow is. So let's review rest position before we go to playing position. So we're going to be under that elbow, hand at the top of the shoulder, fingers resting on the string. And we're going to hold that out, turn the scroll, and bring our instrument to us, gently resting on your left shoulder. Now we've got that free hand, we can help adjust, get that bow seatbelt on, always in rocket ship position. We're making that adjustment. We're going to make sure those fingers are all nice and loose. That bow seatbelt's holding you in place. I can pretty much release those fingers and it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to place my bow right where that wine charm is on the A string. And I want you to again notice that my elbow, my right elbow, is making a 90-degree angle. That's how we know that we're in the middle. Your arm might be longer or shorter, so you might be in a slightly different part of the bow, and that's okay. So with my bow on the A string, I'm going to make sure my straw's standing upright. Make sure I'm on the bridge side of the straw, so we don't want to be on the fingerboard side of the straw. That's not the correct place. And I'm going to, across the string, do a down bow, so my bow goes to the floor or to the tip. Let's try that. Good. Let's try that again. Set your bow, nice and loose, do your finger taps, and let's draw that to the tip again. And let's go back to the wine charm or the middle. Good. Again. So I want you to again notice that my elbow is opening and closing. My upper arm's not really getting involved. It's just a motion from the elbow. And if we have that straight wrist to elbow, so it's not like this, we don't have weird gooseneck stuff going on. We've got a nice straight elbow to my wrist. All I'm doing is just opening and closing, just like we did in the last lesson with that paper towel roll. Open and close, open and close. So before we put our left hand and our right hand together for hot cross buns, we're just going to review the rhythms on the open A string. So let's go to playing position. And I'm going to keep my hand up here on the shoulder to help stabilize my instrument a little bit. Set your bow on the A string, nice loose fingers, nice and tapped. Elbow and wrist make a straight line, no gooseneck, so you can look down and see, is my elbow in the same level? That's correct. So hot cross bun starts out with 3 quarter notes that sounds like this. And then again. And then we've got some fast notes. So those faster notes are 8th notes, and don't worry about the technical terms right now. I just want to introduce those terms to you. We'll definitely talk about those in a later lesson. So we've got a long note, long note, long note, and a wait. Long note, long note, long note, and a wait. And then we've got those slightly faster 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's try that again. No stops this time. Playing position, hand secured up here. Set your bow on the string, and we're going to do those longer quarter notes first. Ready? Go. Wait. Faster notes. Excellent. So let's start thinking about adding the left hand to that. So let's just review those notes quickly. So I'm going to go to playing position. Scooched all the way down to first position, tap my thumb, make sure it's across from your first finger, elbow underneath the instrument so we can be on those fingertips. Set your bow on the A string, double check your bow hold, nice and curved, elbow down for the A string, and we're going to set our second finger. Our bow's not going to move this time though. We're just going to do the fingers and leave the bow stationary. So we've got 2, 1, oh, plop 2, go, 2, 1, oh. Now we've got those fast notes. A, B, 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 C sharp, B, A. Great, let's try that with the bow. We'll put all those pieces together. And just a reminder, if your bow sounds a little scratchy, you're pushing too hard. If it sounds a little glassy, you're not sinking into the string quite enough. So we want to release into the string from our shoulder. So set that bow, feel that release into the string. Set your high 2 on the fingertip. Check your thumb curvy here, pinky curvy, and let's give it a go. 2, 1, open. Ready? Go. 1, open. Freeze, plop 2, fingertip check, bow hold check, go. 1, open. And here come those faster notes, 4 A's. Set first finger, and we want 4 B's. Then 2, 1, O. 1. Good, let's try it all together. So we're not going to stop this time, but I will say the fingers or the note names before you play them. So go back to playing position, set your bow on the A string, double check your angles here. Thumb is curved and your pinky is curved. And set your second finger, and let's do it. Second finger, go. 1, open. Plop C sharp, ready, go. 1, open. Faster notes, A, go. 1, 2, 1, open. Nice job. So we also had another song that we learned on the A string, Frère Jacques, or Brother John. So let's just quickly review what that was, and then we will put all the parts together. So for right now, why don't you put your bow down, because we're going to pluck it first, and then we're going to bow it. So if you remember Frère Jacques, we started on open A, then first finger, 2, open, and we repeat that, O, 1, 2, open. Then plop 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do that much. Playing position, slide down to first, make that L, the backwards L, and plant on the side of the fingerboard, and we want O, 1, 2, O 2 times. A, B, C sharp, A. Open, 1, 2, open. Good, the next part, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. That was also 2 times, so let's review that. Playing position, double check your fingers are tapped into the string, they're squished into that marshmallow, nice and loose. And let's do 2, 3, 4. Ready, go. 3, touches, 4 is spaced away. Peel those away, back to second finger, 3, 4, and then we're going to reverse that, 4, 3, 2, open. Ready, go. 3, 2, open. Plop 4, 3, 2, open. And the last part is open, 4, open. Go. Plop 4, open. And repeat that, open, 4, open. 4, open. So that's our whole song. Why don't we grab our bow again, and we're going to try to put those 2 pieces together. Alright, so we've got our bow back. Double check that bow hold. Plopped fingers, nice and loose and released. Curved thumb, curved pinky, or thumb underneath the ferrule, that's okay as well. Instrument to rest position. Bring it to playing position, slide down to first position, tap that thumb. Set your bow on the A string, low elbow. Let's double check, tap those fingers, nice and loose and released down here. And let's just try the first 4 notes. Open, 1, 2, open. Ready? Go. 1, 2, open. Let's do that again. 1, 2, open. Good, freeze. Plop 2 fingers. Double check, you've got a nice straight wrist here. Thumb tapped, and we're going to do 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, back to C sharp, 2, D, 3, 4th finger E. And then we're going to reverse that, 4, 3, 2, open. So 4, 3, 2, open. Plop 4, check your wrist is straight. Nice and released thumb, released fingers on your bow hold, and let's do that again. 4, 3, 2, open. 3, 2, open. Last part, open, 4, open. Plop 4, open, and do that again. Open, 4, open. Good, go back to rest position. So we're going to try all of that together, all of Frère Jacques. I will say the fingers or the note names before we play them. So back to playing position, slide down to first position, set your bow on the A string and make sure it's engaged. You want to feel like it's kind of anchored there. Not too much, not too little. So open, 1, 2, open. Let's try that. 1, 2, open. Again, A, B, C sharp, A. Plop 2, touching 3, spaced out 4, 2, 3, spaced out 4. Now reverse that, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, open. Plop 4, 3, 2, open. Open 4, open. 4, open. Open. 4, open. Excellent job. So now we should be able to play Hot Cross Buns on the A string and Frère Jacques on the A string. In our next lesson, we're going to review the D string because we also learned Hot Cross Buns and Frère Jacques on the D string. We're going to go over how to play the D major scale with our bow, and we're going to talk about how to change string levels because our elbow is involved in that. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you feel like you're making progress. It's always a little bit of a struggle at the beginning, but that's kind of part of the fun, right? Is seeing how you can make your own progress even though it feels like it's a little bit of a struggle. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you at our next lesson.